What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. It's Thursday, Thunderous Thursday, February 6th. Shout out to my son, Trey Bryant. Tomorrow is his birthday. I think he's going to be 24, maybe. You know how it is. I'm not his mom. Moms know the birthday. They're like, he was born on February 7th. 2001, it was 7:14. I went to the hospital. I don't remember that. So I just remember that I have a son named Trey. You know what I mean? I think he's 20 something. I think, yeah, he's 24. I think he's going to be 24 because he was born in 2001. But anyway, happy birthday, TB. Hoo-ah! That's the deal there. I got to tell you, you notice I'm not in studio yet again. I've been out. I let you guys know last week. I've been on a trip to California. and went out there for ministry, had a great time. But now I'm in Idaho. Yeah, a brother is in Idaho. I'm in Nampa, Idaho, at Nampa Christian Schools. I'm going to bring on my friend who invited me here. I saw him slip in. Greg, come on over and say what's up. That's what's up. This is Greg Wiles, and so
how you guys doing?
Greg is the superintendent of Nampa Christian Schools, and man, I'm telling you what, I didn't know they were handling business out here like this out in Idaho. Who knew? We just got another teacher coming through. Are you a teacher? Yeah, there we go. So Greg, here,
Yes.
wait. I want you to pull up a chair because you're on the show now. You're on the show. Thanks for joining me up here. I know you got work to do, but tell the people about Nampa Christian Schools. What you guys do? Just give them a little heads up on that.
Oh, you bet. So our mission is that we exist to glorify God with our heart, head, and hands. And we partner with Christian churches and Christian parents. So we are a discipleship school. We have 1,056 kids.
Hold on a second.
Diapers to diplomas.
They have 1,000 kids in this public school. It's unbelievable. They got like, how many campuses? 2 campuses? 3 campuses?
3 campuses.
3 campuses. It's unbelievable what they're doing out here. And their facilities are fire. They got all kinds of sports. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Hey, you're fine. Well,
keep telling.
We've been around since 1959. At that time, 3 little small Christian schools united together to form Nampa Christian Schools. And we've just been servicing kids face-to-face, Christian education. Every student here has Bible every single day. We have a chapel once a week, and once a year we do a spiritual emphasis week. And we brought in my main man here, Alex Bryant, to be the keynote speaker, and he's done a great job. We had an off-campus time with our high schoolers yesterday, and today's doing middle school and high school chapels. So it's just been great. So praise
awesome.
God.
Man, the Lord's been working here. Okay, I'm gonna ask you about Christian schools, because this is, I mean, we have some Christian schools in the Springfield area, and there's just such a, right now in our culture, in our society, a distrust of public schools, Greg. I mean, You've been an educator. You were in public schools for a while. Now, full disclosure, Greg and I have known each other since like the 90s. We actually played football at Evangel together, went to China together and played football there in front of like stadiums of tens of thousands of people.
Oh, man, a lot of people.
So that was cool. But so you've been in public education, you've been in Christian education. Why would a family look at, and why would you suggest they choose Christian education?
Well, if you want a biblical worldview that's integrated in every classroom, that's Christian education. To teach Christianly is different than just to be a public school teacher that you're a Christian. A public school teacher that's a Christian cannot bring God's word into the classroom. We do that on a daily basis. It's not just opening the class with prayer. It is interweaving God's word in everything that we do, in every subject.
Well, you guys know that in addition to the things I do, I am an adjunct professor at Evangel University. Greg went there. His daughter is there now. I actually had her in my Essential Christianity class, and I talk about it unashamedly. This world right now is coming at us with different worldviews that are antithetical to what we believe as Christians. And it is important to make sure that your children have a solid foundation in what you believe, in your worldview. And it's your job as a parent, even as a grandparent, to make sure that your kids, your grandchildren know how to hear the voice of God for themselves. And it's tough because when they have all these different things coming at them, these secular worldviews that come at them in schools, that kids are born gay, that, they may be born in the wrong body, that, sex, as long as it's safe, it's free, all these different things coming at them. You got to make sure that your kids, your grandkids, have a biblical theological worldview that you believe in. And so, man, Christian schools, our 2 sons, Trey and Michael, we started them in Christian school. I also believe in the public schools. Right now in Nixa, that's where we live. We do public schools, but you guys know this, I'm on the Nixa school board because I want to inspect what I expect. Public school's good. I'm not dissing it, but if you can get your kids in Christian school, it's definitely worth it. So thanks for what you guys are doing out here, man, in Nampa Christian Schools, man. Some good stuff. So.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks for joining me on the show, my friend.
So, all right.
Hey, that was just extra. By the way, Greg, I don't pay people for coming on my podcast. So I just did that for free. All right. So, Hey, that's the disclaimer right there. You got to make sure they know what's up. So hey, giving you a little bit of an info of what's happening today. I am going to go and do a middle school chapel service here in about 35 minutes. So this is going to be another abbreviated show, but there's some things that I want to talk to you about. I need to share with you. We're going to do our one segment we do, what people are talking about. That's what we're going to be doing today on Frontline Faith. So, Friz, give me the segment opener, what people are talking about.
What people are talking about.
Here's the deal. I got a few things. I'm basically going to give you, and these are some of the news items, but these are what people are talking about. I left home last Thursday, and I've been on the road, and I've been checking my emails and texts and Facebook messages, and just kind of been keeping in touch with the news. And a lot of you guys are sending me messages. Here's what people are talking about. You know it, you see it, you experience it all over social media. They're talking about Trump. You got two types of people in this world right now. You got people that like Trump and the haters. That's just the reality of it. People are hating. They're hating out loud. They're drinking a lot of haterade, not Gatorade. They're drinking some serious haterade. And I get it. I know I got a lot of friends, family members even, that no matter what he does, they're looking, they're nitpicking in every little thing. So what about this? What do you think about that? So, Trump now with USAID, how's that going to work? Trump with these tariffs, how's that going to work? And so they're waiting to give the brother, they're waiting to just throw him under the bus with every little thing. And the reality is we got to wait and see. The American people overwhelmingly voted for Trump. He won the Electoral College vote, 312 Electoral College votes. He won the popular vote. No one ever thought he was going to do that. I mean, the guy won with every segment. He increased, with every segment of voters, Black Americans, Latino Americans, white women, college-educated women, every segment. This guy increased. In every state, he grew. And so the people overwhelmingly said, we want to give his policies a chance. Because as a president, what we're looking for, and I'm not talking about your pastor. Your pastor is completely different than what the president is. I mean, your pastor, there's different things that you want from your pastor. There's different characteristics, different traits. But for a president, he wants somebody who's going to put America first. And this is what he's about. He's saying it unashamedly. So here's some of the things that I think people are talking about that I've seen people send me messages about. They're sending me, what's your comments on this? So I'm going to give them to you. And you guys know who you are. People that have been sending me your little, some of them have sending me straight up messages. Yeah, your boy's doing this. What do you think about that? And some of them have been a little bit out there. There's a few of them that I'm going to touch on what people are talking about. The first one is this, Elon Musk. They say he's ruining America. I had someone sent me a message about the exchange of wealth over these last few years. And they're basically saying that Elon Musk, he's come out of nowhere. He is like, this tech titan. And they sent me this graph of like from the 70s of the richest people in the world and how it's evolved. And really, it's only been the last 5 or 7 years that Elon Musk has been there. And now, I guess his net worth, I guess this dude, they're saying now he's worth like $400 billion. That's a lot of money, first of all. It's a lot of money. And now everybody's saying, who elected him? He's not even elected, official. He paid Donald Trump $258 million or $280 million to buy an election for Donald Trump. And now he's here to seize power for himself. This is what people fail to realize. Elon's a different guy. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not co-signing on him. I'm just waiting and seeing. But you got this dude who is not motivated by money. Elon doesn't even own a house. The guy like sold his house. He goes and he freeloads off of people. He's been living at Mar-a-Lago for a couple of months. This guy's not concerned about money. It's not even about gathering wealth for him. He wants to go to Mars. This guy he's driven and he wants the government to get out of his way to deregulate so that he can conquer Mars and be the first to go there, all in the name of America. This guy has invented, we're talking, SpaceX. I mean, this guy's, first of all, he's brilliant. You can't say that he's not. This guy's like, hey, we can do cars differently. He's invented Tesla and all these different crazy little Cybertrucks. The guy bought Twitter and turned it into X, which, by the way, Elon, can we change it back to Twitter? What's X? Do we tweet now? What? Please, can we change it back to Twitter? Can we tweet still? That's all I'm asking, Elon, if you're listening to this. But anyway, he's not motivated by money. And, he connected with Trump because he liked Trump. He thought that, Trump had a better vision than Kamala that they were pushing down their throats. And so through their talks and through their stuff, he's like, we need to shrink government. Who doesn't think we need to shrink government? We work and send too much of our money to the federal government to give to who knows who for who knows what. I'm tired of that mess. And so Trump came out saying, we're starting DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. And I'm all for it, baby. I'm all for it. I mean, you think about this. If your family budget is you're spending way too much, you got money on credit cards, at some point in time, you're going to have to say to everybody, hey, listen, we got to cut some things. And it may not be fun to cut, and then what do you cut? You obviously have to have, pay your car payment, you got to pay your mortgage, you got to pay your utilities, and then you got cell phones, and then you got your streaming stuff. And you might say to those people, hey, we're getting rid of cable. We're not going to have Netflix. And, people are going to grumble. No, my favorite show. And then you got to start looking at other stuff. Hey, the kids have to have braces, so we can't just stop making that payment. But club soccer, it might have to go, which club soccer should go anyway. Who cares about soccer? That's like hockey. Who cares about hockey? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's football or basketball or anything, you know what I'm saying? But you got to start thinking about the things that you're going to cut. And it's not fun. People don't want to cut some things. Your wife may not be able to get her nails done anymore. The husband may, instead of going to the gym, you might have to walk around the neighborhood. If you're spending too much money, you got to rein it in. That's what's happening right now. We as a country are $36 trillion in debt. That's 36 trillion with a T. That's like monopoly money. We have, like, China has bought a lot of our debt, and if they call it in, we're in trouble, people. We can't keep spending like we have. And so, yeah, I'm all for DOGE. And we all know we have way too many government employees sitting around doing who knows what. When they did their audit, Trump found out that only 6% of government employees are working in the office. What's up with that? You got to go to the office. I got to go where I'm on the road 40 weekends out of the year. You think if I could do it without traveling, I would, but we have to go to work. And let's be real. I know people that work for the government. My son works for the government. But if you're working, you got to work, baby. And, they're inefficient. There's waste, there's fraud, there's abuse. And Trump is saying, I'm going to rein this stuff in. And so in the process, it's not going to be fun. In the process, when you're cutting your budget, some things might get looked at and evaluated, and somebody goes, no, please don't cut that. It might not be fair. That's going to happen. But I think that he's rational enough to where he's looking at it. He's got smart enough people around him who are going, okay, hold on a second. So one of the first things they're looking to cut was this USAID. I went over this on Tuesday's show, and I talked about some of the things that this USAID is spending money on. Frizz, play this clip real fast, and we'll show you what USAID is.
The Trump doctrine isn't just for foreign countries like Colombia. Trump fired dozens of prosecutors for attacking bloat like an angry honey badger, exposing one of the country's biggest soft power slush funds, USAID. USAID's $45 billion budget is getting gutted. The organization used to play an important role, but it got hijacked by loony bureaucrats.
They went totally crazy what they were doing, and the money they were giving to people that shouldn't be getting it, and to agencies and others that shouldn't be getting it. It was a shame. I love the concept, but they turned out to be radical left lunatics. And the concept of it is good, but it's all about the people.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says USAID is done spending like drunken sailors.
One of the most common complaints you will get if you go to embassies around the world from State Department officials and ambassadors and the like is USAID is not only not cooperative, they undermine the work that we're doing in that country. They're completely uncooperative. They won't tell you what the programs are. They refuse to answer questions. They try to push through payments. Even after the executive order, they were still trying to push money through the system.
There you go. I mean, this organization, it's basically a slush fund. And I mean, they're, $45 billion budget. It's being hijacked. And unfortunately, it's being hijacked by the radical left, those people that have a plan and a worldview, things they want to see accomplished that doesn't line up with Trump's agenda. Trump won the election. He's putting America first. He's a conservative. And man, Trump has now frozen their funds in an effort to evaluate their spending and to rein it in, and they don't like it. When Marco Rubio went and talked to them, they're like, we can do what we want. We spend how we want. It's the way it's always been done. And so Rubio and Trump are going, not so, bro. And here's a part of it. See, Trump realized last time when Trump won his election, there were so many people in the so-called deep state. They were the people that were embedded, the unelected officials in the governments. And we were told for almost a year and a half, there's no such thing as the deep state. Anytime you mentioned it, they'd make fun of you. Oh, here comes the crazy conservatives talking about the deep state again. Ooh. And now we know and realize that's a real thing. There are people that are embedded in the government that are there to defy, to disrupt what Trump wants to do. And Trump knows it now. And so he's attacking some of these agencies. It's a slush fund, USAID. And again, I went into the show last time on the things that they're spending money on, a lot of their transgender policies, on trying to spread their radical ideology to other countries. And so Trump's saying, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. And I want to say this. First of all, Trump's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. We're going to evaluate government spending, and we're going to cut some things. And secondly, again, we're $36 trillion in debt. That's with the T. We have to stop spending. And it's unfortunate that some of these good USAID programs are being evaluated and frozen while we get the bad spending in line. And the bad thing about it is, and here's the deal, the leaders of USAID came with this attitude of, you can't touch us. Leave us alone. We're going to do what we want to do. So unfortunately, because of their response to being checked and their response to being evaluated, they didn't want to have any accountability. So now some of these good programs very well may get slashed because of the leadership, poor leadership. And then all of our friends are posting on Facebook, Trump's a monster. He's cutting this, he's cutting that. Well, if the leaders weren't spending our taxpayer dollars fraudulently and against his policies, then they would have wanted, and if the leaders had a humble attitude of, yes, we're accountable, our books are wide open, look at what we're spending things on, then those programs could have been salvaged. But now it remains to be seen. And it's sad. Now, the Democrats, they are losing their minds and they're vowing to fight back. Listen to a couple of them right here.
Elon Musk is a Nazi Nepo baby, and so the pieces of.
We cannot allow Elon Musk and a small group of people to secretly, behind closed doors, take away our privacy, take away our dollars, take away everything we have. We are going to fight this fight. I am going to stand with you in this fight, and we will win.
We are not going to sit around while you go ahead and desecrate our Constitution, or you look at the laws that have been passed into law and say, never mind, we'll just ignore that. Instead, we are going to be in your face, we are going to be on your asses, and we are going to make sure, you understand what democracy looks like. This ain't it. So let me tell you something, Mr. Trump. You gonna learn a few lessons from us. And I'm gonna be the first one. You and your little friend off of Twitter. Y'all about to find out, all right?
In the building behind me.
All right, so that was, we just said, hey, I'm going to keep playing a little bit here in a second, but that was, you saw Chuck Schumer, he comes and says defy, and then Congressman Jasmine Crockett. Trump is going to learn a few lessons from us. And this is like a freshman congressman. Like, what's he going to learn? Like, she's getting some good sound bites on there. And the sad thing is, this is what happens. She's a black woman, so she's a protected class. And so if you say anything about her, well, then obviously the only reason you're saying it is because she's a black woman and you're racist, you're xenophobic, you're chauvinistic. And that's what they try to do. That's called collective demonization. They try to silence us by using a so-called protected class. And obviously if Trump comes out and says, who is this Jasmine Crockett? What am I going to learn if he fights back? Well, he's trying to be a bully to a black woman. That's identity politics. I reject that completely. But the Democrats know what they're doing. They're throwing her up there. And they're elevating her because she's a protected class that they look at. That's jacked up. I say, nah, bro. I'm a big black dude. I ain't falling for that. I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe. That's what Eddie Murphy said in Beverly Hills Cop back all those years ago. So, and then you have we got Elizabeth Warren. Can you still play that? Because she had some stuff. She says some things about Elon as well. So play that clip.
Elon Musk is all about the power from the American people. We are here to fight back. A few months ago, Elon Musk spent $280 million to buy an election for Donald Trump. Now, Elon Musk is here to collect on his investment. He is here to seize power for himself. We are here to fight back. We will fight.
You know, I don't remember the Democrats having a problem when George Soros spent a couple $100 million for, Hillary Clinton, then when he did it for Joe Biden. I don't remember the Democrats having a problem when Mark Zuckerberg, when he was in their camp, spending $400 million for Joe Biden. But now that the so-called conservatives have a billionaire who's willing to spend money, it's a problem. He's trying to seize power for himself. And that's what they're trying to say. And they're just using the fear tactics. We're not falling for it. And Elon's not wavered. This guy's working for the government for free. He's trying to save our taxpayer dollars. I'm thankful he's doing it. Here's what he said. And he said this about USAID. He says it became apparent that it's not an apple with a worm in it. What we have is just a ball of worms. You've got to basically get rid of the whole thing. It's beyond repair. We're shutting it down. And they don't like to hear stuff like that. But I'm standing behind Elon because I want somebody evaluating our taxpayer dollars and the way they're being spent. And I just think that's being a good steward. That's a biblical principle. And if you're doing things the right way, and if no one's above accountability. No one's above being audited. No one's above being questioned. These people in the government work for us, and they shouldn't be above it either. And so USAID, I know we're doing a lot of good stuff. I'm sure you have, but you shouldn't be above being audited. At churches, pastors, they know that people can come in and look at their books. It just is what it is. And so here's another thing that people are talking about. The second thing, the entire CIA, they've been offered a buyout. The entire Central Intelligence Agency. You know, the one The Rock worked for in that movie with him and Kevin Hart? Yeah, the CIA. I love watching movies about the CIA, by the way. That's just a random thing. But anyway, Trump is not messing around this time. He knows what he wants to accomplish, and he knows how he's going to do it this time. So, man, these intelligence agencies, he's got Cash Patel that he's putting in to go over the FBI. He's reining them in because the deep state uses all of these different organizations. And what is there, like 280 different government organizations? Like, why do we have all of these? And you talk about unelected officials, those people are unelected, and yet they're responsible for spending billions upon billions upon billions of our taxpayer dollars. And Trump is reining that mess in. So what he's done is he's offered the entire CIA. Now remember, John Ratcliffe is over the CIA now, so the whole workforce has been offered a buyout. And that's as the Trump administrations come in, what they're doing is they're saying, listen, we got to downsize government. And so if you want to take this buyout, we'll pay you through September. We'll give you benefits through September, and then you go and find another job. But, we'll split with you. And people are not liking it, but Trump is serious about shrinking government. He is dead serious. But let me just tell you this, and the Democrats all over the news, the media, the talk shows, the politicians are coming out. Trump's trying to shrink us down. This is bad news. You know who else shrank government when he came into office? The first black president. You know who that is? Bill Clinton. That's what they said anyway. He's the first black president. Remember, he pandered to black people, and black people loved Bill Clinton. But when he was in office, he shrank government under the guise of the 1993 Reinventing Government Initiative. That's what it was called, Reinventing Government Initiative. Clinton oversaw the termination of 377,000 federal employees. His initiative was led by then Vice President Al Gore, and it was marketed as an effort to cut bureaucratic bloat. Clinton, at the end of his presidency, he publicized that his administration shrank the government from 2.15 million government employees to 1.79 by the end of his term. Nobody had a problem with that. So why do they have a problem with Trump saying he wants to shrink the government? I'm not, it's all hyperbole, and I'm not buying it. This guy, Trump, is going to do what he said he's going to do. And the Republicans, we know that the American people, we don't want this big, huge government. We want the government to protect our borders. We want the government to collect taxes so that we can have services like military. We want a strong military. We want a strong defense. And we want them to promote fairness. But other than that, get out of our way. Let the fair market do its job. We want capitalism to reign. I want the freedom to live the way I want to live. I'm a Christian. The Bible is my ultimate source of truth. You guys know how I feel about that. I want to be able to live out the way that I believe, my core values. And in the schools that my kids go to, the public schools, I want the teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic, the 3 R's. Which, again, why is it the 3 R's? I got to ask an expert over here. He's still in the room. Why do you guys call it the 3 R's when it's not reading, writing, and arithmetic? It's reading, writing is W, and arithmetic's an A.
Right.
It's a mystery to you too, Greg?
That is from way back when, but we just accept it.
They just accept
because
it.
The R, they accentuate the R.
All right. So even Dr. Greg Wiles, an administrator, he doesn't have a real answer for us. but we want schools teaching science, math, English, history. I don't want you teaching radical gender ideology. I don't want you teaching your social justice message. You know, those are theological issues that I believe I get inspired from what the Bible teaches me. If someone lives and they have a worldview that doesn't line up with the Bible, and they want to teach kids what their Mormon belief, religion is, then they should be able to do that in their home. If they want to teach their Muslim beliefs, they should be able to do that in their home. If they want to teach, their atheist views, they should be able to do that in their home. But in schools, we want the 3 R's taught. And so, when you look at what's happening now, Trump's shrinking the government. He's saying he's bringing the state governments back to, or he's bringing the education back to the states, things like school choice. My kids, we're fine with our kids being in public school. We go to Nixa. It's a great public school. But I just had my friend Greg Wiles, Dr. Greg Wiles on. He runs Nampa Christian schools, and they got 1,050 students here. And because this is what they want their kids. And so I'm all down with whatever it is. But don't try to throw shade at the Trumpster, because again, Bill Clinton shrank government too. He got rid of 377,000 federal employees back in 1993, the Reinventing Government Initiative. Nobody had a problem with it then. But that's what people are talking about. Don't let them try to silence you. Keep your voice going. Now, I'm not encouraging you to go and fight with every person that posts something on Facebook. Don't be a troll. Some people are venting. They're mad, they're frustrated, and they're hurt. They just want to emote. Let it happen. Just scroll past it. You don't have to comment on everybody's stuff. They're just going to create strife. That's going to fight. Let them get it out. Now, hopefully they'll have the wisdom to get it out. They're going to get their frustrations out. They're going to talk about how Orange Man is bad for a while, and then they'll come back to their senses. And, then we'll keep our relationship, because these are our brothers and sisters, our coworkers. But they're just upset because their person didn't win. But don't fall for the bait of trying to defend Trump. Trump's a grown man. He can defend himself. You don't have to defend every little thing they ask of you. And definitely don't go around picking fights. You see what I'm saying? That right there is worth the price of admission today. Here's the final thing I'm going to tell you that people are talking about, and I love this one. Trump signed the executive order to protect women and girls sports. Yes. You guys know how my daughter, Katie, she's only 15 years old. She's a 6-foot-tall basketball beast. And I love it that she is swatting the shots of these little 5'3" tall girls. They're girls. You know what I'm saying? Don't be mad at my daughter because she's 6 foot tall. She is still a girl. I don't want her playing against a boy who's 6 foot tall. You know what I'm saying? Girls playing girls, boys playing boys. But so Trump signed this executive order. Here's the details of it. Check this out.
In a few moments, I'll sign a historic executive order to ban men from competing in women's sports. It's about time. My administration will not stand by and watch men beat and batter female athletes. From now on, women's sports will be only for women. In recent years, the radical left has waged an all-out campaign to erase the very concept of biological sex and replace it with a militant transgender ideology. We're honored to be joined today by many incredible advocates for women's sports, including the brave swimmer at the forefront of this battle. And Riley Gaines is a person that I've been watching. With my action this afternoon, we're putting every school receiving taxpayer dollars on notice that if you let men take over women's sports teams or invade your locker rooms, you will be investigated for violations of Title IX and risk your federal funding. There will be no federal funding. With this executive order, the war on women's sports is over. We are restoring sanity and common sense, defending the rights and safety and pride of the American people, including our great, great, great female athletes.
Man, so here's the deal, and this is what I'm going to end on. Like, why? It's sad that we even had to do this. Who would have ever thought we would need him to sign this executive order? I know Congress is working on a bill so that it can become permanent. Right now, it's an executive order, and it's a common sense executive order, and it's keeping men out of women's sports. Biological men should not be competing with girls. It's just not fair. It's not right. It's not safe. 900 trophies and medals have been taken from girls over the last 4 years under President Biden because they've allowed boys to be competing with girls. It's just not right. It's not fair. And anybody that knows that men are faster, we're bigger, we're stronger. They're taking scholarships from girls, these college swimmers and stuff like that, volleyball. It's just not right. And so Trump is defining what a male is and what a female is. That's important. We know the Bible talks about that. So the definitions of who a male is and who a female is, and it's what your biological sex is. And then they're talking about preserving women's sports and education. And he's saying if you go outside of that, it's Title IX violation. It's going to take away your federal funding. That's the deal. So the NCAA, they responded to President Trump's executive order, and they said this. They said that they believe that it's going to provide clear national standard. And so the president of the NCAA said that his name's Baker, said that the NCAA Board of Governors would review it and take steps to align the organization's policies in the coming days. So it sounds like they're saying, good, we adhere. So common sense stuff. Hey, that's all I got time for. I'm in Idaho at Nampa Christian Schools. I'm about ready to go and speak to a chapel service of middle school students. And so a couple hundred of those. I always love that. That always gets me going there. And I'm talking about John 17. The time has come. God said, or Jesus said, Lord, the time has come for you to glorify me so that I can glorify you. I just want to leave you with this. All that you do and all your giftings, all your abilities, all your skills, use it to glorify God. Your talent, your treasure, your time. It's not only about you. It's about bringing glory and honor to God. And so use it for that. That's what I'm going to talk to the middle school students about today. I encourage you to do the same. Thanks for tuning in to Frontline Faith with Alex Bryant. I'll be back in the studio next Tuesday. Until then, I'm out. Word.